Let me ask you something straight up. Why are some Cowboys fans so quick to throw Maisy Smith under the bus? I get it. When a team uses a first-round pick on a guy, expectations are sky high. We all want another Micah Parsons, the kind of player who steps in on day one, blows up the stat sheet, and changes the game. But here's the thing. Not every position works like that. And nose tackle? That's one of the most misunderstood, underappreciated roles in football. The moment Maisy got drafted, a good chunk of the fan base locked in their opinion. They decided who he was before he ever suited up. Bust, they said. Wrong pick. He's a bomb. And now, a year later, some folks are already calling for the Cowboys to move on. But let me tell you, that mindset is way too short-sighted. Mozie's rookie year wasn't flashy. And no, he didn't put up monster stats. But that doesn't mean he didn't grow. It doesn't mean he didn't contribute. This is a position where progress doesn't show up on highlight reels. It shows up in how hard it is to run up the middle, how clean the linebackers stay, how many second and longs you force. It's grunt work. And most fans, they don't see that part of the game. Now, if you're a Cowboys diehard like I am, let's be honest. Part of this frustration comes from years of waiting. We've been on the edge of something special for too long. So when a top pick doesn't look like a star right away, it's easy to lose patience. But man, it's just not fair to expect every rookie to be Micah. So let me ask you this. Do you think fans gave up on Maisy too fast? Drop your answer in the comments. Just hit yes or no. I want to see where y'all are at on this. And if you're the kind of fan who loves breaking down the why, not just the headlines, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. We do it different here. All right, coming up next, I'm going to walk you through the real grind of playing nose tackle in the NFL. Trust me, it's way deeper than most fans realize. So let's talk about what it really means to play nose tackle in the NFL, because it's not just about size, and it sure ain't about racking up sacks. Picture this. You're lined up this close to the center. You've got your hand in the dirt, knees bent, back tight. The ball snaps, and you don't just hit one guy. You might get cracked by the center, blindsided by the guard, and if a fullback's coming through the hole, that's 3 dudes coming at you in less than 2 seconds. It's like getting hit by a car in a phone booth, every single snap. And that's your job. You don't get the glory. You don't show up on SportsCenter. Your role is to absorb contact, clog running lanes, and make sure your linebackers stay clean. That's what lets a guy like Micah or Damone Clark fly around and make plays. Now, people say, why didn't Maisy pop off as a rookie? But think about it. He went from college ball to the NFL trenches in one offseason. That's a massive adjustment. The physicality, the schemes, the speed. It's a different world. And unlike wide receivers or running backs who can make a splash with one flashy play, a nose tackle's impact is about consistency. It's about grinding for 60 minutes and wearing down the offensive line play after play. And here's the part nobody seems to mention. This job takes time. Even the best interior linemen don't really hit their stride until year 3, 4, sometimes even 5. Look at Jordan Davis in Philly. His rookie year was quiet. Now, he's a wrecking ball. It's a slow burn, not a fireworks show. So when folks say, Maisy's a bust, I just shake my head. That's not how this works. If anything, the fact that he took a step forward mid-season after struggling early tells you he's putting in the work. Let's do a quick poll. Do you think nose tackles deserve more credit for what they do in today's NFL? Hit the comments and let me know. Yes or no, I'll be reading through them. Next up, we're diving into the timeline. Why the real impact from Maisy might be coming exactly when we need it most. All right, so here's the part most fans don't want to hear, but it's the truth. Interior defensive linemen, especially guys who play the one tech like Maisy Smith, usually take years to develop, not months. Not a single season, years. You see, there's a rhythm to it. Year 1, it's all about survival, learning the playbook, adjusting to the strength, the speed, the technique. It's mental and physical overload. Year 2, that's when they Start applying those lessons. It's still messy, but the instincts begin to kick in. They start trusting their eyes, and it's usually not until year 3 or 4 that it clicks. That's when you see the refinement, the polished footwork, the leverage mastery, the ability to read and react without hesitation. And that's exactly where Maisy is right now, on the brink of that second-year jump. If he keeps stacking days and building off what he learned last season, we might be seeing a very different player this fall. Mark Holmes hit it right on the money when he mentioned guys like Jonathan Hankins and Calais Campbell. Those dudes didn't peak in year 1 or 2. They got better with age. Why? Because the position demands reps. It demands experience. You don't learn how to handle triple teams or read blocking schemes from the sideline. You learn it in the fire. And let's not forget, Maisy had a rough start. Reports are Dan Quinn didn't fully believe in him. Told him to lose weight. He dropped. Too much. They had to basically rebuild his whole approach mid-season. That's a setback most fans never even see. But it matters. Now, I know the NFL is a win-now league. Everyone wants instant returns on first-round picks. But some investments take a little longer to pay off. If Maisy takes that next step this year, and I believe he will, he could be a key piece in fixing this Cowboys run defense for good. Here's a question for you. Are you willing to be patient with a first-rounder if the position demands it? Drop your answer in the comments. Next, we're getting into how much the coaching situation last year really affected Maisy, and why this year's changes might be the key to unlocking his full potential. Let's talk about something that's often overlooked: coaching changes. When Maisy Smith came into the league, he didn't just step into the NFL, he stepped into a transition year. It wasn't just about him adjusting to the speed of the game. He was dealing with a coaching staff that was in flux. Remember when Dan Quinn, the defensive mastermind, had Maisy's back during training camp? Well, that didn't last long. Reports said Quinn was less than thrilled with Maisy early on, especially about his weight. Quinn told him to trim down, but Maisy lost too much, which led to a setback in his development. That's a tough situation for any rookie to handle, especially one playing a position that requires such nuanced technique. And let's face it, getting a player's weight, conditioning, and mindset all dialed in is a huge part of the job when you're talking about big men on the interior. You can't just push them into the lineup without giving them the proper foundation. So for Maisy, his rookie year wasn't about just play. It was about rebuilding his approach from scratch. That's not easy. But here's the flip side. As tough as it was, those setbacks might have been exactly what he needed. By the end of the year, Maisy started showing real signs of growth. His technique was improving, his awareness on the field was better, and he wasn't making the same mistakes over and over. That's a sign that he was learning, and learning fast. The coaching staff's shift also brought in new faces with fresh perspectives. I truly believe that this year, with the guidance of Brian Schottenheimer, who's known for his player development, Maisy is going to see the benefits. Schottenheimer's experience working with young players in tough positions could make all the difference in Maisy's growth. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think a coaching change can truly turn a player's career around? Yes or no? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. In the next chapter, we'll explore why Maisy's growth isn't just important for him. It's crucial for the team's overall success. All right, let's wrap this up by looking at the bigger picture. How Maisy Smith's growth could be the missing piece for the Cowboys' defense. We all know that the Cowboys' defense has been one of the strongest units in the NFL, especially with guys like Micah Parsons causing chaos on the edge and Trevon Diggs locking down the secondary. But there's always room for improvement, especially in the interior of the defensive line. And that's where Maisy comes in. If Maisy can take the steps we're hoping for, his ability to clog up the middle and create disruption will free up the linebackers, make life easier for the defensive ends, and force opposing quarterbacks to get rid of the ball faster than they want. 2. We've seen it before. When the interior line dominates, the entire defense benefits. And that's not just about stats. it's about impact. Think about how dominant the defense could be if Maisy starts to assert himself as a true force in the middle. Pair him with Osa Odigizua and you've got a formidable duo that can wreck both the run game and passing game. It would give the Cowboys more flexibility with their blitz packages too, knowing the interior is being held down by a solid presence. But remember, it all depends on Maisy continuing to develop. He's not going to be Aaron Donald, no one is. But that doesn't mean he can't be a game changer in his own right. All the signs point to him having the right tools, and with the right coaching and consistent reps, he could be a major asset for the team's defense moving forward. Now, I'm curious. What's your level of confidence in Maisy's future? Do you see him developing into a reliable starter for the Cowboys? Or do you think it'll take more time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And with that, I'll leave you with this. Maisy Smith's journey is still unfolding. It's not going to be overnight, but with the right mindset, the right coaching, and a little patience, he could turn into one of the most important players on this defense. Here's hoping we're talking about him as a cornerstone piece a few years down the road.